This Joy Taylor and Fox Sports 1 situation is wild, but there could be a silver lining. Hello, good people. It is Todd Shannon, data scientist, social commentator, getter of buckets, and I hope you had a fantastic holiday season. But of course, since the last time you talked to your boy, some interesting developments have taken place, and none more kind of viral than the situation with Fox Sports 1. And some are saying that the FS1 is not for Fox Sports 1, but for the Freak Show 1 or something like that. Because apparently there are some very scandalous and salacious things going on at Fox Sports 1. A young woman filed a lawsuit. And although the lawsuit was actually filed against kind of Skip Bayless and some of the executives and some of the people at Fox Sports 1 who ended up really getting the brunt of the kind of the publicity, the negative publicity that is one, Joy Taylor, because apparently there are some untoward sexual activity going on, some things that are not quite kosher, not quite above board, and it's a bad look for Joy Taylor. Now, I am not going to go into all the salacious details because that's not what type of channel this is. That's not what we do here. But what some people are saying, and I think this is an interesting take, and I'll tell you why I hope it's true in a moment. This could set women in broadcasting back, like, I don't know, several decades. I'm hoping it sets them back, about 100 years. Back when when women in general basically didn't participate much in sports media, or, I'm not of the opinion that women need to be completely excluded systematically from media, but I think women need to have selective participation. And that's because I believe that there should be, and there is nothing wrong with men having their own space. Men having their own space, women having their own space. There should be men's and women's spaces, and sports is primarily, particularly when you're talking about football and things like that, it is a man's space. It's okay. Okay, let's just put that out there. I'm all for it. And I want to give you something that I kind of just recently just realized. And there's two sports shows that I watch, sports kind of talk shows that I watch. And I pretty much religiously. That's Inside the NBA with Kenny, Chuck, and Shaq, and my main man, Ernie from the mean streets of Milwaukee. All right. If you watch the NBA, you know that Inside the NBA with Chuck, Shaq, Ernie, Kenny, it's an institution, right? Now, that's why everybody was freaking out when TNT lost the NBA contract, because everybody was just like, what's going to happen to Inside the NBA? What's going to happen to Inside the NBA? And thankfully, they figured out that you can't lose Inside the NBA because you just can't. So apparently they're going to license it out to ESPN, something like that. Anyway, but it's not going away. That's the one that I watch religiously. And then the other one that I watch pretty consistently is probably my favorite besides that is First Things First on FS1. And it was recently that I realized why these two shows are pretty unique in the sports landscape and why I enjoy them so much. And that's because, are you ready for this? In part, not solely, but in part, there typically are no women on these shows. I know sometimes Candace Parker will be on the show. I get that, right? On Inside the NBA. But the core of the show are four dudes doing dude things. Okay? Now, First Things First on Fox Sports 1, they had a couple of formats, but they've kind of settled on this latest format, where it's basically Nick Wright, Chris Broussard, Kevin Wildes, three dudes doing dude things. And I didn't realize this at first until I thought about it, and I said, I like this show so much because it's the bros. It's the buddies. Now, I'm going to show you a couple things, and I'm going to tell you why this development with Joy Taylor could hasten more of these types of shows and why we could get better sports programming as a result. I'm going to show you a couple compilations of these shows because I want you to understand kind of why I dig it so much. These shows are pretty funny. They're pretty entertaining. I'm just going to show you a little clip of each here.
Live from New York. The show. It's been a rough day. It's been a rough day for some of us. It's first things first today.
Never a doubt.
It's just.
How about never a chance?
Oh, well, that's a little much.
No Kelsey, no problem. How about no Kelsey, no offense?
The person I should have listened to all along was the only person that was truly right on this program. We can introduce him now if we have a chance. It's a special guest, the guy who actually called.
We're bringing.
Who actually called the game.
Yeah.
He called it. He was right.
He doesn't even have a chair.
That's my main man. That's my man, Greg Jennings. He's frequently on the show doing football stuff.
I'm a chair. I'm man Campbell, not Dan Campbell. This is what we do. I'm entering on the scene, and you mad about it. Let's go. Let's go.
I know we don't have time hubs. It's the worst. Can we show the worst play in NFL history? Can we please?
Oh, you little weasel! You dirty dog! You little
All right, so I got to explain this. See, this is dude stuff, right? So they have this running joke because Kevin Wildes, who you see pictured on the right there, he's from New England, so he's a hardcore Patriots fan. And this is ridiculous play where Mac Jones gets totally sunned. He gets totally ransacked by, he looks like a kid out there against the Raiders. And so every time they go, hey, let me show you this one play, and every so often they will throw this picture back up on the screen, and it's absolutely hilarious. They do it to clown Kevin Wildes because this is what dudes do. We give each other crap. We crack jokes on each other. And this is what it is. This is what bro shows are supposed to be. Okay? It's what it is. It's a vibe. It's like the locker room. It's like the homies hanging out, just doing what dudes do. We need more of this. All right? It's also the reason why inside the NBA with Chuck and Kenny and Shaq and all of them, well, it's also funny. Observe.
Disappointing on us. Where they going, Chuck?
Galveston. That dirty ass water. We're not even gonna send them to Cancun. We're gonna send them to Galveston with that dirty ass water be washing up on the shore. You people think they're in the beach. Y'all located, we gonna send y'all to Cancun. Y'all drive y'all quit. Drive your ass down to Galveston. Come on, man.
So they're not taking a little.
Come on, they didn't even try, man. No, we're not getting them no plane ticket to the beach. We send their ass to Galveston, Texas, right where that dirty water washed up on the beach. They can't even get in the water. Come on, man.
Oklahoma City, 108-85 in Game 3. It's 3-0. Who latched onto the conversation?
Who was that?
Beyonce's mom.
Beyonce's mom.
Yes. Chuck, we don't play about Galveston, Texas. Our water might not be blue, but it's still the beach and we love it.
Oh.
Jay sent this to me and Angie B yesterday. He asked us if we're going to let him talk about our city like that. All good. We got a great laugh. So you never know. You never know who you're going to impact.
Miss Nose. I don't want that smoke. I don't want the beehive and Jay after Chuck. Miss Nose, I apologize. I do not want the beehive and Jay after me.
So how do you like Galveston now? It's beautiful.
We're not going there. Would you go on vacation?
You've got a chance.
Hell no, I ain't going on vacation.
You've got a chance to wipe the slate clean here.
You got to just say, I would go to Galveston. Let me tell you something. That water's so dirty, I'd rather go to San Antonio. But I will tell you what, I would love to see them get their ass stomped by the Celtics. That'd be.
All right, so you get what I'm saying. These shows are funny. They're entertaining. These are bro spaces. And back in July of 2023, I did a video on this channel. This is one of my earlier videos. Didn't get a lot of traction, but I like to harken back to it because it further proves the point that I've been making this point for some time now, which is that ESPN basically had started making the case against diversity, because I believe ESPN wasn't going to be satisfied until everyone on every sports show on ESPN was a gay, lesbian, handicapped black female with, Alzheimer's or something, just to show how inclusive they are. Every time I turn around, it was another female talking about sports when, frankly, just to keep it 100, I'm just like, do you even know what you're talking about? Molly Qerim injecting herself into every conversation on ESPN First Take when nobody asked her. Molly Qerim was not an athlete. She's only on the television because she's beautiful. She's eye candy. But you know what? She doesn't make the show better. That's not why people tune in. If dudes want to look at eye candy, they'll go elsewhere and do other probably untoward things, looking at things they probably shouldn't be looking at. We all know that men like to look at beautiful women. But these women in these sports situations are continually increasing measure pushed on us. And I always ask myself when I'm watching ESPN, which I can't bring myself to watch. I don't. Occasionally I'll catch a clip on YouTube, but I never, ever turn to ESPN unless it's like an actual sporting event, like a basketball game that I want to watch or a football game that I might want to watch. Other than that, I don't watch their programming, besides clips here and there. But I'm just like, Monica McNutt. Why is Monica McNutt on my television screen? I got to be honest. I always wonder. I'm just like, okay, I understand. Okay, it's not that she doesn't know basketball, but like, you're telling me this is the best. This is the best we got. She's obviously a diversity hire. Then you got, again, the Molly Qerims of the world who are only on there because they're attractive. You had the Carrie Champions who they're, again, same reason Molly Qerim was on there. And then you have Joy Taylor. Now, I told you, I'm not going to talk about Joy Taylor. And the situation that you can, if you want to just YouTube Joy Taylor, FS1 Scandal, whatever, you get all the salacious details. You're not going to hear about it here. But Joy Taylor is another example of a female being pushed on us. And what is she doing? Not really adding much significant content to the overall programming, but in between shows, posting thirst traps with lots of cleavage and other things that like do not make the show better. The female dynamic makes it stuffy and weird and not a bro space. And it's completely insufferable. There's the show Speak for Yourself or Speak, which she is one of the hosts of. Can never bring myself to watch it. It was a pretty decent show when Jason Whitlock hosted it, and then wasn't even bad when Marcellus Wiley and Muhammad Acho, they kind of had a little thing going there. Once they started injecting the women in there, it wasn't good. But I tell you what, first things first got better when they got rid of their female host. I'm just keeping it 100. I'll explain this here in a moment. The show became better when it became a bro space. They tried that same formula. They had a female host. She wasn't particularly eye candy per se. She was actually a lesbian. And, it wasn't that she was bad at it, but they were trying to do that formulaic thing. And I don't know when I don't know what happened. I think maybe FS1 kind of figured out that, hey, we are not ESPN. We can't cruise based on our name recognition and everyone just tunes into ESPN by default, right? We can't do that. They probably don't have the resources of an ESPN. So they said, let's make the show trim, lean, and mean, right? Let's get rid of everyone we don't need. Let's keep Kevin Wildes because he was kind of behind the scenes, and let's put him on because Kevin Wildes is funny. Let's keep Nick Wright, and let's add Chris Broussard, the basketball guy, and let's just go with that, bare bones. And it became a bro show. And the show I have watched it pretty much almost every day in some form for, a couple of years now. It's my favorite show. Well, during certain times of the year. During football and basketball seasons when I watch. When football and basketball season not in, the show's a little hard to watch. But in any case, I hope that this introduces a renaissance, because this is you might ask, well, why are you talking about this? It's because this modern ideology, the feminism, where women are saying we deserve to be in men's spaces because we deserve to be in men's spaces. And what happens inevitably when you introduce women into men's spaces, that you complicate things. Not only can you potentially, because all of this diversity is our strength nonsense, they, in my opinion, they objectively have been making the product progressively worse time and time again, from, once again, just forcing these random. ESPN is by far the worst offender, right? Because they're a cesspool of wokeness. The diseased mouse called Disney that's just what they produce, just a bunch of DEI nonsense. Every time I turn around, they're including a younger female, various levels of attractiveness, almost none of whom have any real experience at the highest levels of sports. You get these sports analysts that used to be men, where you used to be former players or people who were journalists for many, many years. I remember watching the great Tony Kornheiser and Mike Wilbon on PTI. Shout out in the chat if you remember PTI with Mike Wilbon and Tony Kornheiser. That show was amazing. Just two bros doing bro stuff, cracking on each other. There was stuff like, "Oh, tell your boy LeBron," blah, blah, blah. And he'd be like, "No, that's your boy." If you ever watch PTI, you know what I'm talking about. The show was fantastic. It was a bro space. And increasingly, we have these women encroaching on men's spaces and degrading the product. And now that we have a real scandal where we have someone like Joy Taylor, potentially, and allegedly, but I watched people who used to work at the network, both Jason Whitlock and Marcellus Wiley, and I can just tell you, based on what they said, they seem to think that the likelihood is very, very likely that the accusations about Joy Taylor and others are true, at least in part. And so my hope is that what networks will learn is that the women don't add a lot, but they can take away a whole bunch. This potential, this essential sexual tension that can be introduced while also degrading the product, it's not worth it. When some executives at these sports organizations, when their heads start to roll, then we'll get some real change. But I want to show you this last thing because I think it's interesting. I think this kind of encapsulates exactly why I hate this stuff so much. Let's have a quick look.
Joy Taylor, who every time I scratch my eyes is looking more like Jamel Hill. It's the only way people will listen to her because she doesn't really know anything about the game and never really has.
The next time a woman's up for a job, I don't want to hear about the experience that she needs to have it.
I'm using her thinking.
I love a good unqualified man hire. Woo.
Love it.
How does Joy Taylor have a job talking and grading football players and teams on a sport she never played? She never put a helmet on once. She doesn't understand how it really goes down. She doesn't know what she's looking at. How does she have a job talking about football?
An opportunity that he is completely unqualified for.
She doesn't have that job if Jason Taylor's not her sister. Let's go. If Jason Taylor, a Hall of Famer, isn't her sister, nobody
Jason Taylor's her brother.
knows who Joy Taylor is. Nobody even knows who she is. I'm sorry. Joy Taylor, whoever.
Well said. Well said. Who's Joy Taylor? She's on here. The irony is palpable, right? It's just, she's talking about unqualified. And if the things that have come out in this lawsuit about her are true, this is beyond hilarious and ironic. But my point is that I think this could be a silver lining for sports programming as a guy who is a self-proclaimed getter of buckets, a sports guy. I can tell you that with these shows, first of all, I don't know who they're even trying to appeal to. Women don't watch these shows. My wife loves to go to a basketball game with me. She likes to watch basketball, but she cannot stand these sports shows. It's a total dude space. My wife calls it the yelling show. It's kind of funny. She's like, all these guys do is yell. I don't know why you like this. You know, arguing sports. This is a thing that came right out of the barbershop culture, right out of the dude space culture. I don't know if you know why we need to include women in these spaces, but I am glad that this, the one silver lining potentially, even though this whole situation is kind of a crap show, maybe that's going to be a silver lining that we get some of these women out of these spaces. But let me know what you think. Do you think, the Joy Taylor situation is going to set the women back? You think I'm a misogynist? Let me know in the comments. I'll even take that. I'll take that. Just let me know what you think, and maybe I'll give you a little response. Appreciate you stopping in. If this is your first time, please like, share, and subscribe. And until next time, friends, God bless you.